Yo guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this modular drum rack in Ableton. This drum rack is made up of 3 layers. We have addictive drums, a separate kick and a separate snare. I have then set up 8 macros which allow me to change different aspects of the kit. Macro number 1 is assigned to the kick, so I can change the kick sample. Macro number 2 is assigned to the snare, so I can change the snare sample. Macro number 3 is assigned to the snare pitch in addictive drums. And then snare pitch number 2 is assigned to the separate snare to change the pitch there. Having those 2 macros assigned to the snare pitches means I can tune my snares to fit the track instead of having to change the snare as well. If the snare sounds good but it doesn't sound like the right pitch, I can just change the pitch there and get it to fit in. And then I have a high pass and a low pass set up on all the channels, so if I play the full mix, high pass, and bring the low pass down. I have set those 2 macros up so I can quickly automate a high pass and a low pass on my drums. The last 2 macros are assigned to knee and low, which is just assigned to a compressor. The compressor only affects the addictive drums layer, so I can tame those transients. So if we look at the key mappings here, we can see that addictive drums has got full scale range. We have the kick, which is only triggered by C1, and the snare, that's triggered from C sharp to G sharp. So if we take a quick look at the velocity mapping, we can see addictive drums at the top. This plays from 1 to 120. This allows me to program my drums in ways that I can have sections where I don't have the addictive drums kick layered in with the main kick, and also the same with the snare. And vice versa, I can have sections where there's no main kick coming through if the velocity is low enough. If we take a look at the kick channel, there is a shaper MIDI, velocity MIDI, pitch MIDI effect, and a drum rack with 9 kick samples. The shaper MIDI has been set up to filter out the low end of the kick from addictive drums. This helps blend them together and stops clashing of the low end frequencies. I don't have this velocity effect. This is just for me to essentially compress the velocity signal. And this MIDI pitch effect that I'm using to transpose the signal, the MIDI signal, up to trigger the other kick samples. I assigned this MIDI pitch effect to this macro here. So if I just twist this knob, you will see different samples being triggered. I'm not really going to cover the snare as it's for the most part the same. So if we look at addictive drums, when the kick happens, you can see here, this is what the shaper MIDI is doing. It's cutting off the low end of the kick. If we click on the snare, as I move this pitch macro here, you will see the pitch of the snare change. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab from one of my other projects a similar drum rack that I've created and just get the MIDI file and play it through this drum rack so you can kind of hear the versatility that this drum rack has. You can see it's a little bit different, this setup, but I've already taken the MIDI part anyway. So if we listen here, and then something a bit slower like this. So you can see it's quite nice. It's got a lot of versatility, and the best part is you can turn that to audio and resample it, chop it up, anything you like. You can import your own samples. You can add more macros like I have done in this one here. This one I have added a reverb and distortion and the resonance knob too, but it's actually not mapped to anything. So yeah, I hope that you learned something from this video. Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't forget to press that like and subscribe. Press the like and subscribe button. So yeah, peace.